Okay, I'm Tony Kerridge from Tony's Tackle. I've been selling tackle for 40 years now, and I absolutely love it, and I like looking after people and make sure they use the right gear. This is the famous Pulley Rig, which a lot of people use all over the country. It's very, very simple, but it's a big fish rig, and it's so much easier to use than your free hooks flapping and your free hook clipped. This is basic. The good thing about it is it's simple, it works. This is the rig as it stands. Some people like to put a second hook on here. I do myself. This is just a standard rig, but you can put a 79515 behind there, and it gives you sort of, quite often the fish will come in from the side and you'll take him. So I tend to use mine with another hook on. This is one that's in the shop that I'll show you. You just hook it onto the impact lead. It's quite simple, as you can see there. There's nothing spectacular about it. When the lead hit, this will cast a long way, by the way, because it's a very short, compact rig. It's got one swivel, one at the top. It's very easy to use. When the lead hits the water, the pressure of the water will push the impact lead up, and as you see, it fired off there quite quickly, and you'll find it'll always come off. It'll never get caught. And what actually happens is when you get a good fish, you'll get a big cod on there, or a bass, or something decent, and then what happens is, as you reel in, your line is attached to this swivel at the top, this small size free swivel, and it will pull through, and this will bring the lead up to the top. I don't know if you see that. I'll do it once more on the camera so you can see it nice and clearly. That brings the lead up to the top as the fish goes off and you reel in. It brings the fish to the top of the water. So basically, if you're fishing over rough ground, he'll come up in the water, the lead won't snag, and you'll get him in quite well. You can also use a lead lift on the top if you wanted from breakaway, which will bring it straight up. But they're so good because so many years people have used different rigs, and the fish has got trapped in the rocks or trapped in some rubble or something like that, and you've lost good fish. You know, this way, every time it comes up, and 9 times out of 10 you'll get that fish up in the water, and you'll be able to control him a lot better. It's one of the simplest rigs in the world, but it's very effective. If you're tying these up yourself, you've got to always remember that this piece here's the hook length. It's got to be shorter than the main length, because obviously it clips nice and neatly. This depends on basically what you're going for. This would be like for bass fishing. You've got a 4/0 hook there, really strong hook, camisane. You've got a nice swivel at the top, which is quite not going to break or anything like that. You clip that into a link clip when you're going to cast. Use roughly around, same thing, 60-pound main body line, and probably around about, on this I use, this is about 35-pound amnesia, 30-pound, because if you have it too light in the line, it tangles, and because it's a big fish rig, they're not going to be worried about if it's quite heavy, the line. You don't want to lose the fish, because you're fishing for bigger fish, bigger species. So basically you need your line quite heavy. This is probably about 35-pound amnesia. The bottom line here is 60-pound grease weasel, clear, and everything's nice and neat. And you've got an impact lead, 5 1/4 there. Again, depending on where you're fishing, you might want a heavier lead, you might want a lighter one. Generally you want 5 ounces, because if you're dealing with big fish, you don't want them pulling the lead out and tripping it out and not getting hooked. So it acts like an anchor in a way. So I tend to use a 6-ounce lead, a red top one, when I'm fishing for bigger fish, because I find that if you don't, it'll trip the lead out, you'll get a slack line bite and you'll miss it, you know, invariably. But I know they use these pulley rigs a lot for rays up in Wales and everything like that, and they're just good for everything. So very nice rig, very simple to use, and don't cost you too much to make one of them either. As I explained, these are very simple to tie. If you don't want to be messed about and tying them up, a lot of people can't be bothered, you know. I do them in packs of 5. They're about $12.99. They're all professionally tied. The hooks are perfect. The line on them is perfect. It's all good stuff. Easy to do. the only thing is on these ones you can. I do 2 lots. I do this lot and then I do another lot where you can have a separate hook as well as the hook on the bottom, like a pennel type rig, and they're perfect and they're good for big fish, and it saves you all the time and hassle. And we sell them. And they're quite good.